the filter. I don't remember exactly how it goes, but emotionally intelligent people, which I'm not emotionally intelligent, the EQ, there's some kind of filter when you're exchanging with someone and you're maybe a little emotional, a little angry. The filter goes something like, does it need to be said? Does it need to be said now? Does it need to be said by me? So a couple characters out there on YouTube, but really they're not important. Well, specifically one said something, and Just Muckster posted, I think last night, on my Shadow Finkel channel, what this other fellow said. Yeah, okay, Chris Ryder. And yeah, I admit it, I had some thoughts as I'm listening to what Chris Ryder said. By the way, Chris Ryder, Hill Power Studios, or even Just Muckster, my own work, whoever. People post a lot on YouTube. I just don't have the time in the day to watch all of them every minute. So someone say, hey Finkel, GS said this. I'm like, I don't remember that. But you were right there. You know, I'm sorry, I'm not always paying attention. And also note, sometimes there's sock accounts out there that look like me. So I have a memory. So okay, maybe he was saying it and I'm reading the chat. I have a hard time multitasking. I'm reading the chat. He's something really horribly nasty, evil, mean, and it doesn't register. Or maybe he didn't. Maybe somebody misinterpreted what they thought they heard. Maybe they were reading their own chat and peripherally heard it and just got it wrong. I don't know, but I've been accused of being right there when GS said things that I'm not consciously aware that he said. Or in some cases, he said something slightly different than what you're misquoting him on. So Muckster grabbed a few clips from a recent Chris Ryder video, and I had a thought process reaction to it. Dude, you have right? Okay, I'll take right away. I'm gonna go. Okay. And I tried to run it through the filter, a response. What I observed from what Chris Ryder said. Okay, run it through the filter. Does it need to be said? Okay, let me think. Well, I believe Chris Ryder needs to hear it. Okay. Does it need to be said? Not really, because I don't know Chris Ryder in person. I've never met him. Does it need to be said? No. Okay, next filter layer. Does it need to be said now? No, because my observations of Chris is the things I'm thinking about responding to have been consistent for a long time. As I dig deeper, a lot longer time than I've been aware of. Okay, so it doesn't need to be said, and it doesn't need to be said now. Okay, next layer of the filter. Does it need to be said by me? Okay, so far we're on no's. At least the way my EQ, my limited EQ translates it. Does it need to be said by me? Well, Chris Ryder has a girlfriend who seems to be a lot higher EQ than he is. Girlfriend, common law wife, Tiffany. He has a lot of friends, YouTube supporters. I have no idea his social connections in the real world. So does it need to be said by me? No. So does it need to be said? No. Does it need to be said now? No. Does it need to be said by me? No. So if I run it through the filter, I don't have to say this. So I'm going to add a new layer to the filter, a release valve, if you will. Do I want to say it? Yeah, I do. Okay. Chris Ryder called me on my trip up here. He called me twice. First time Pennsylvania. I don't know. I didn't know the. I know now. I didn't know the rules in Pennsylvania. I'm like, this is always recording. And Chris knows that when I'm driving, this is recording. I'm not doing it to capture a random phone call, but it does capture random phone calls. I'm doing it so if a cop pulls me over and says I was doing 80 and a 55, and my GPS camera says I was doing 50 and a 55, I have evidence that the cop was wrong. If I come to an intersection with a light and I see a green light and the other guy has a red light and we collide, okay, who had the green light? I actually had that experience, and it took me months because I didn't have a working dash cam, to get someone to confirm, yeah, I had the green, he had the red, insurance pays me, or his insurance pays me. Okay. So, and Chris, my first contact with Chris, my very first contact with Chris, I was offering to get him a similar dash cam. Records forward, records aft, records internally, and records all the sound inside the car. He knows this. It's one of the first things we talked about, dash cams. He knows that I record everywhere my car goes. And he knows that while that's recording, it also picks up the sound inside the car. Now, I learned on my last trip to New York, there's some songs that aren't copyright strikes, and I would play songs while I'm driving, and I would later put that on YouTube. I don't remember when Chris and I and Tiffany and I, and even Chris and Tiffany, at least the way I remember it, when we were having this phone conversation, I don't remember if my window was open or closed. I did learn from those music videos while I'm driving through the countryside up here that if I have my windows open, there's a woo, 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 and you can't really hear the song. The song's literally playing on my well, it's on my iPhone, iTunes, and it's got playlists, and it plays through my car stereo. And when the windows are closed, pretty good sound. When the windows are open, you can't really make out what the song is. You can't make out conversations. So I don't remember, was I smoking and the window open? Because when I smoke in the car, the window's open. I don't remember when Chris called the second time and we actually had a calm, civil, that's snark. It wasn't calm, it wasn't civil. It was angry, it was rageful. I think it was rageful in all three parts. And I don't know if the window is open. I don't know what, because the memory card, which apparently will be the one that was in the camera at the time, apparently according to tracking, will be at Muxer's house by 6 p.m. Eastern time, according to the tracking. It's going to be there. What is on it? What did I say? What did Tiffany say? What did Chris say when we raged at each other? Was the window open? Did Chris give me personal identifying information about kids? I don't know, I don't remember, but I've been very clear openly on YouTube that when Muxer gets this, I want the whole conversation unedited so that I can learn from any mistakes I made. So I can do a 10-step. Part of this dash cam thing helps me do a 10-step. If something happens while I'm in the car and it's running, I can actually take an honest look when I'm calmer at what happened, and sometimes it's not the way I remember it. I'm getting old, I don't remember so good. And you add rage to it, I even perceive and remember accurately even less. And I don't even know if the wind noise drowns out the conversation. I don't know if the window was open. I don't even remember what speed I was at. I remember I pulled over at the next exit. Lafont. Lafayette. I'm sorry, Lafayette. I get the L's. Yeah, Lafont helped design D.C. Lafayette helped fight the Revolutionary War. A good friend of Hamilton's, and Lafayette, New York, is driving distance to, at least in 2025. I don't know about 1776. The towns named after Hamilton and Lafayette aren't that far apart. I digress. So I did a video and I actually replaced that memory card, and when I got up here I didn't have a way to edit it, even review it, except for in 3-minute sections. I can, oh, here's a 3-minute section, let me download it to my iPhone. It takes a long time, and well, frankly, it's probably 6 or 7 hours of recording on that. It's near the end. Muxter, if you're looking for it, it's near the end. Not directly at the end, but the timestamp on the video display, not necessarily the timestamp of the file, but the timestamp of the video display should be close to 12:44 p.m. because that's what time the call came in, 12:44 p.m. The second call, the one I took, the one that I'm hoping recorded. That was very clear. I'm going to have Muxter, if you can, edit it before I can get back to Virginia with my own editing software. And Muxter, if you're watching, please, 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 whatever you have to edit out that might be PII, personal identifying information, especially about kids, edit that out for what you put on YouTube. Otherwise, I want the full context of the conversation, minus phone numbers, kids' schools, kids' names, addresses, you know. But the bulk of, he said this, or she did that, or you're thinking this, I want that in the phone context, in public, so I have to face it honestly. And I probably said some stupid shit, which, by the way, the clip that Muxter played that was from Ryder is me screaming, I have sworn to uphold and defend the Constitution of the United States. I'm angry. But even here a couple days later, hearing myself say that, I'm loud, I'm angry, there's rage in my voice. But what the hell's wrong with what I said? I have taken an oath to support and defend the Constitution of the United States of America against all enemies, foreign and domestic. Whether I say that yelling or whispering, or if I write it into a love song, the words are still the words. So Chris has everything, allegedly, he recorded that and he opened the call with, I'm recording this, something along those lines. Yeah, me too. And you know I am, because you know our first contact with each other was me trying to get you a device like I have. In fact, the reason I swear by this device is because the previous device, I didn't know that it had stopped recording 2 or 3 weeks before the accident. This is an accident a few years ago, not the recent one in Holly's car. Okay. Does it need to be said? Does it need to be said now? Does it need to be said by me? No, no, no. Do I want to say it? Yes, I do want to say it. I'm going to exercise my First Amendment right to say what I want to say. I know it's not very emotionally EQ. It's not very high. Chris, you're full of shit. My cigarette went out. It's raining. Windows open. At no point did anyone, me, Muxter, anyone, suggest that we're going to put out personal identifying information about kids. Yeah, you might have said, I have kids here. Well, yeah, you said that on YouTube too. You have kid or kids there. I'm not really fully aware of what your claim is, but you said it publicly, and you said, I think you said it on the notorious call. And hopefully it picked it up. But the fact that you're claiming you have kid or kids there of whatever age, it's already out there. You said it to me, I think, on that phone call, and you said it publicly on your YouTube channel and other YouTube channels where you were a guest panelist. So the fact that you claim to have kid or kids there is not necessarily need to be edited out. Now, if people know your address and you're putting out the kid or kids are there at that address, we're not putting out the address. Hell, I don't even know your address, but people out there know your address. And you've said publicly, kid or kids, we're protecting our kid or our kids. You doxed that kids are at whatever, 131 Main Street, Oneida, New York. That's just a street number I'm looking at right now. I'm by the post office. You said it. I just like when GS points out, hey, here's a picture. There's a little bit of snow on the ground. Driveway is clear. We don't know who that is. We don't know whose house that is. But you come on YouTube and say, that's my lawyer. Now you have doxed your lawyer, assuming you're being honest and accurate about that picture being your lawyer. GS didn't dox your lawyer. He showed a street view picture of something from the street, which is public. You're familiar enough with First Amendment auditing. Perfectly legal. Hey, here's a picture of a house, no street name, no address. There's a picture of a house in a driveway taken from the street. Whether it's Google Maps Street View or someone taking a picture, doesn't matter. The house is not doxed, the person is not doxed, until you say, yeah, that's my lawyer, blah, blah, blah. You doxed him. Back in my time of going at it with GS, I would point out, I don't know your address, but I know your house. I know what it looks like because it's very similar to mine. And the reason I know that is because of your gardening, your, what do you call it, homesteading videos. Sometimes you get the angles at the back of the house or sometimes the front of the house. I don't know the street number. I don't know. Okay, I figured out what town it is because everyone keeps talking about it. I don't know exactly where in that town that house is. I get it. There are people on YouTube who do, or people on Facebook or whatever social media you want to follow. Okay, I'm being long-winded. Muxter accuses me of not having brevity. Muxter's right. Okay. Does it need to be said? No. Does it need to be said by right now? No. Does it need to be said by me? No. I choose to say it. I am freely choosing to admit I don't have a very high EQ. So here we go. I, David Finkel, fake name, which I think you, Chris Ryder, knows the real name. I think. I don't know. You could easily put my real name out there, will you? Won't you? Do you actually know what it is? It's not that hard for you to find out. It might be hard for other people to find out, but yeah, I won't explain it to you because I think you have a low IQ. How you would be able to know my real name, but I'm pretty sure you remember to inhale and you remember to exhale. Therefore, it's not a giant leap that you know my real name. Are you going to dox me? Not. I don't know. Well, yeah, I'm a little nervous about that, but fuck it. I've been doing the YouTube thing for over 3 years. It's only a matter of time before I had a close call with a former CSC employee. He remembered the situation I'm talking about. So I'm like, oh, does he remember me? And did he like me? And is he going to put my name out there? And I think it's just a matter of time. Okay. So you're pissed at me. And you think Muxter might edit the video to show PII of child or children. Well, you have the perfect ability to preempt or exact revenge. You don't even have to directly dox me. You could say, well, there's roundabout ways to say, hey, this is that guy out saying to YouTube, this is Tom Jones, and his phone number is, and he lives at, I'm not Tom Jones. Okay, I'm David Finkel. No, not really. Everyone knows that I'm not really David Finkel. Some people know who I really am. Some people even know exactly where I live. He showed me a street view picture of my car. One of my comments a couple years back, some anonymous, I didn't recognize the name, he accurately posted in his comment my license plate number. I'm like, Oh, wait a minute. License plate number. So what? But I figured out he knew that the guy, at least doing the video, was driving this car and his license plate number is XYZ. So people know more about me than I'm consciously aware of. So now I'm consciously aware of my anonymity as my real name is not guaranteed. It's going to happen. Will it happen when you react to this video? Will it happen 10 years from now? I don't know. It will happen. It's inevitable. Just like the woman I call Holly found out that I was doing something, and gosh, in the moment when she called me out on it, I lied to her. I don't have a very high EQ. And that's why I'm responding to this. This is faking Bell's palsy. I'm faking Bell's palsy? Get the fuck out of here. This is embarrassing. This means when I go to an AA picnic and I'm eating picnic food and drinking picnic AA non-alcoholic beverages, I'm dribbling, I'm slobbering. It's fucking embarrassing. When I read how it works, I'm getting better now as I hear myself. My enunciation's better. It's still embarrassing. It's embarrassing when I read how it works and I sound like I'm drunk. I sound like I'm drunk at a fucking AA meeting. That's fucking embarrassing. Why in the fuck would I fake this? There's no reason. If anything, I would hide this. I would go on YouTube behind an avatar. I'm curious, Chris, put in the comments below, what benefit am I seeking by faking this very embarrassing situation? Now, I do go on YouTube, and I do go to AA meetings, and I do go to picnics. Last night I did a mukbang. Very conscious that anytime my Mountain Dew might slip out of my mouth, or I might chew with my mouth partly open. It's embarrassing. But, unlike you, I face my character flaws, my physical flaws. I face it, I embrace it, I'm embarrassed by it. I'm embarrassed that, sometimes I'm embarrassed that I'm a recovering alcoholic. Sometimes I'm embarrassed that I work on my PTSD through a group of men and women at the vet center. These are embarrassing things, but I put it out there for what purpose? What do I have gained by you knowing that I'm a recovering alcoholic, or you know that I have PTSD that I work on, or you know that I have Bell's palsy? There's nothing for me to gain in it. In fact, if you think I'm grifting, everybody knows I'm not monetized. There's no way for you, unless you know who I am and send me a check in the mail, there's no way that you can send me money. I don't want your fucking money. I get it. You want my money. I get it. You're very pissed off that somebody else got my money. And that goes for you too, Kevin. You got this bullshit charity that you're raising money for. You're fucking grifting. You're both fucking grifting. You want to turn around and say Finkel's grifting? No. There's no possible way, unless you find out my address and my name and send me a paper check, there is no possible way that you can send me money, and even if you could, I don't want it. If I receive a paper check in the mail addressed to my address with my real name on it, and it's from one of you two fuckwads, I'll just rip it up. In fact, I'll rip it up live on YouTube, if it ever happens. It would never happen because your grifting is one way. You want money, you'll never give it unless you give a little $5 just to be noticed. So I've done that. I've donated to people I don't really want to donate, but I'm like, you'll notice my my donate, you'll notice my comment if it's attached to a dollar amount. I did it for Fraud Wrangler. I did it for Fraud Wrangler under a fake YouTube account attached to my credit card. Said, so, oh yeah, it was about the gas chamber. I said, Alabama is now doing the death sentence by gas chamber. How does that make you feel? If I put that in a regular comment, his 90,000 mods would have deleted that comment right away and he never would have seen it. because I attached it to a $5 or I can't remember, $5, $10 super chat. He sees, oh, money, yeah, let's pull it up. Oh shit, he said that? Yeah. I get it. That's not really a donation. I'm paying for advertising. I'm paying so that I get noticed. And I'm paying so that they can't delete me. The mods can't delete a super chat. The super chat receiver is going to see the super chat. And because Fraud at Wrangler is not so up here with it like you and Kevin, he's going to pull it up. Got him. I think Muxer did something similar too. Okay. Why am I faking this? I'm not. Am I faking this so I can get money? I'm not. Am I faking this because I'm proud of it? I'm proud that I go to an AA meeting and sound like I'm drunk. I'm proud that I do mukbangs and dribble food or AA picnics or anytime I'm eating with anybody. It's fucking embarrassing, but unlike you, I embrace my flaws, my defects, my imperfections, and I'm open and honest about it. Some would say too open and honest about it. Okay. Yeah, I have PTSD. I'm a recovering alcoholic, and I really do have Bell's palsy. I don't really care if you believe me or not. Kevin's very good at pretending to have Bell's palsy, and he actually shows his fellatio abilities. Good for you, Kevin. I have no control over the right side. I'm getting some control. Now, let's do a real quick check. Right eye wink. It's getting better. Left eye wink. Oh, I've always been over. How about both eyes closed? Okay, it's getting better. But randomly, subconsciously, I can't do anything about my mouth. For now, it's getting better. I have noticed that if I do this, my enunciation's a little bit clearer. But do I want to talk like this? No. Am I embarrassed about this? Yeah. Do I embrace my embarrassment? Yeah. You might want to try that sometime. Okay. The other thing I'll respond to is this guy is mentally ill. And shame on Muxter for, I forget how it's articulated, but shame on Muxter for not being a friend and not calling me out on my mental illness. So first of all, Muxter's not a psychologist, psychiatrist, licensed practical social worker. He's a guy on YouTube. He's a guy on YouTube who eats my fucking donuts. He's my friend. And when he sees things in me, he probably runs through that high EQ filter. Doesn't need to be said. Doesn't need to be said now. Doesn't need to be said by me. And he probably, like me, adds that extra layer. But do I want to say it? Yeah, okay. Muxer is not my psychologist, my psychiatrist, my licensed practical counseling, whatever. He's not my counselor. He's not my AA sponsor, and he's not one of my peers in my PTSD group therapy group. He's a guy on YouTube that sometimes is too honest too. That filter doesn't always work, and we all know he likes to blurt stuff out and yell and ban people and kick people out. Right, Kevin? And by the way, Kevin, are you still kicked out of my... I don't know. Okay. I'm rambling. Let's get on with it. Am I mentally ill? Why, yes. I am mentally ill. PTSD is a mental illness, but it has nothing to do with whether this is real or I'm faking it. It has nothing to do with the way I perceive things, especially after I've calmed down and think about them, and hopefully later on tonight I can watch what I actually said. When I'm calm, I'll perceive it, I believe, more accurately. Or maybe my current perception is spot on. Maybe I'm completely off, but I'll have the EQ enough to realize I was wrong there, I was wrong there, Tiffany was right there, Chris is right there. If it's possible, yeah, I will see that. I will learn from it as part of the growing experience, like my 10th step in my program. Continue to take personal inventory, and when we are wrong, promptly admit it. Of course, that means when we realize we are wrong. At this point, I don't know where I was wrong. I know that I raged. I'll admit right now, reacting to your rage with rage was wrong. I should have said, you need a hug. I should have reacted to it with sarcasm. No, that's not really true either. Yeah, I reacted with a low EQ. Okay. Is the PTSD contagious? No. I didn't get PTSD from walking into that room and catching it from somebody else who has PTSD. I got PTSD from experiences in my life in the past. I probably talked about them before. For brevity's sake, I'm not going to go over it again. Go through my old videos. You'll find out why I have PTSD. Alcoholic. I'm an alcoholic. It's a mental thing. And the reason I say mental thing, because the American Medical Association agrees with the early recovering alcoholics in AA. It is a disease. It's even a family disease. It affects the whole family. Now, did I get alcoholism? Did I become an alcoholic from walking into a bar, breathing in something that somebody exhaled? Or maybe I took a drink from a glass that wasn't thoroughly cleaned? No, it's not that kind of disease. You don't catch it from others. You catch it from a different way that the brain works. You get it from, my brain says, ooh, alcohol. Maybe it's good, maybe it's bad, but I need more. And I get more. Ooh, maybe it's good, maybe it's bad, maybe I'm feeling a little old, maybe I'm going to have a hard time waking up tomorrow, but I need more. I need more. I need more. That is a mental illness. And to this day, science knows no cure for it. The only way to treat that mental illness or PTSD, known by science, is to work at it, to embrace it, it's not a contagious disease. It's something between the ears. So yes, Chris, I'm mentally ill. The difference is I'm willing to admit it. When you say that Finkel's mentally ill or has mental illness, what you're really doing is repeating the same thing for a new person who disagrees with you on one thing. On one thing. We agree on the evils of Trump. We agree on the retardation of Fraud Wrangler. We agree on J.J. Scarborough being corrupt. We agree on what's that guy's name, the chief sheriff's deputy, and his sister going out of their way to violate your constitutional rights. We agree on that, and I've raged about some of those things. This rage thing is nothing new. It's one of my character defects. I get rageful. I am mentally ill. I'm a recovering alcoholic. I have PTSD, and I'm physically unwell. Now this, I'm going to correct Muxer on something. How dare you go after a health issue? This is not the serious health issue you think it is when you first realize you have it. Actually, when I first realized I have it, I'm like, oh, thank God it's not a stroke. If I was faking something for sympathy or to get a point across, this could easily be passed off as a stroke. It's very similar outward physical visibility as a stroke. This is not a stroke, it's Bell's palsy. If I was playing for a sympathy game, or I was playing for, hey, this means more because it's coming from a victim of an ailment, I would have gone with stroke. I could pass it off as a stroke, but I'm not doing that. This is Bell's palsy. It is embarrassing. I don't like it. I do have hope now that it is temporary, because you can see improvements from now from when I first learned I had it. You just make no fucking sense. But on the mental illness thing, I am not the first person in your life that you diagnosed, psychiatrist Christopher Ryder, as being mentally ill. I'm up here visiting family, and the person I'm actually staying with is my mom. The person who gave me life. The person who gave me life. Now, it could stop right there. I have gratitude, I have love, I have loyalty to the person who gave me life. Now, I am blessed that she's been a good mother. I am blessed that she's always been supportive, and she's always let me know when I'm wrong, or if she feels that I'm wrong. She's raised me well, she's taught me well. She is a good mom. I don't know if your mom's a good mom or not, but she gave you life. Stop right there. She gave you life. You owe her respect. You don't owe her going on YouTube publicly saying that she's, what's the word you use, schizophrenic? I don't know if she is or not. If she is, give her the respect of giving you life and shut the fuck up about it on the YouTube. If she isn't, stop your fucking lying. But we see the pattern now. Anyone you disagree with is mentally ill. Whoa. There's a pattern here. The things you accuse General Specific of, you've accused Fraud at Wrangler of. At this point, I see no reason to disagree with that because of all the receipts that Shiz Happens brought us. Shiz Happens, not you, not Tyrants Beware, not anybody else. Shiz Happens brought us the footwork, brought us the receipts, brought us the court documents. When you say, do you have receipts? Yes, Shiz Happens has receipts. Not only do we know that she's presenting them and people are feeding off of that, but she puts on the receipts, she puts a watermark, I think some kind of skeleton hands making a heart shape. That Shiz Happens. So when you see it on XYZ channel and you see the skeleton mark, it came from Shiz, bitch. It came from Shiz Happens. Now, I disagree with Shiz on a lot of things. When it comes to the Fraud at Wrangler, she brought the receipts. I believe the receipts. I believe she knows what she's talking about. All this Mandy shit and this shit and that shit, I really don't give two shits about. In fact, I think I recently heard that she's at odds with Joe Pirate Studios. I don't know. Because Shiz has built up the credibility that she says something about Fraud at Wrangler. I believe her. Because when I questioned in the past, it turned out she was right. And I would question that in the past, it turned out she was right. Everything she's ever said about Fraud at Wrangler that I have questioned and dug into turns out to be fucking accurate. So Shiz has Fraud at Wrangler credibility. You have lost credibility because you're willing to talk shit about your own mom, you're willing to talk shit about your father, you're willing to talk shit about anybody who goes against you on any point or all points the same way you do about Fraud at Wrangler. Now you're taking away your credibility. If it wasn't for Shiz, I'd be like, ooh, maybe Fraud at Wrangler ain't so bad. Because this is where I'm at. This is where I'm at right now because of your current credibility and loss of it. J.J. Scarborough, I believe he's corrupt. I believe all the things you said about him. He emptied a magazine at a stop sign. Somebody who turned out to not really be a drug dealer, but turned out to be the son of a political opponent. I believe that. I believe that he made up, trumped up bullshit charges against you because, be it a joke or be it real, he made up, trumped up bullshit charges against me. In fact, tying me in with you. I believe that. Now I'm kind of questioning. He says he was joking. Was he joking? But now that I see the same exact kind of fucking blame games against GS, against David Finkel, and now, as of last night, you're fucking blaming Muckster. In the same way you're talking about JJ. Now, without receipts coming from Shiz Happens or some reliable source, I'm looking all the way back before April 21st of last year, and I'm thinking, maybe whatever GS saw when he broke bread of JS is something the rest of us are missing. Because what most of us are getting about JJ is coming from you. And you are habitually, repeatedly telling the same kinds of bullshit lies about everybody else who disagrees with you, either on everything or just one thing. Before this video, before last night, before my trip up here this time, I only disagreed with you on one thing. One thing. But now I'm mentally ill. I'm faking shit. I'm in cahoots with your enemies. I'm mentally ill. We've heard this all before. Mom, JJ, Chief Deputy's sister, I see a pattern. I see a pattern in you, you stupid motherfucker. You're ruining your own credibility, and you're making us question these people that we've been perceiving as evil. Just how evil are they? Yeah, fraud at Wrangler. It'd be a lot harder to convince me that he did not kill Donald Atwater Cameron Jr. And I'll never understand why Ray Wyatt and J.J. Scarborough followed that murdering, burglaring, drug addict, untreated drug addict, piece of human shit fraud at Wrangler. I don't get that. But I'm starting to get why they're doing things that you make accusations about, me, Muckster, GS. There's a common denominator here, Chris. And that's you. Cheerio.